All right, so one of the requirements you have in this assignment is to use something called the general path. The general path is there to draw a shape and be able to repeat that shape fairly easily. And as we talked about in the lecture before, you're going to use this idea of moving a pencil around the screen. Now, right away, I'm going to suggest to you a better way to be able to handle this. I'm going to create a private method here. Void, I'm not going to return anything. Paint, and let's say I'm going to paint a house for this sake. I'm going to put a house shape on there. I'm going to pass in a graphics 2D object. All right. Now, you don't have to do this in a separate method, but the idea is I want to isolate out the house, and I can paint the house at any point inside of here, move it around, have it be whatever color I want to. In this case, let's say I'm going to paint the house purple, and I'm going to do it after I do my circle here so I can put it together. And so I can say this.paint house and pass in the G object here. All right. So again, I want to do a very specific shape that doesn't exist. I could do it through a combination of shapes. I could create a square with a triangle on top, but that only makes me, again, combinations of basic shapes. What if I want to have just, again, a path that goes anywhere? And that's where the general path comes in. So you can see java.awt.geom, geometry, general path. So this is my path is equal to new general path. I can use it from existing shape, some existing rules, something other. What that means, I haven't played with it in a while. So again, just a basic path inside of here. So the path has to start somewhere. And I got to go to a move to at that point. Now notice these are doubles and floats. It doesn't matter which one I use. I'll actually be able to put integers in there because it'll cast it just fine. So I have to pick some place on the screen that I'm going to draw it. So this oval went at 100, 200. Let's go over to the right of the oval in some way. So we'll say we'll go up to 300. And then we'll move, well, 200 is fine. We'll put it at the same level of that. We're going to move to there. That's where we're going to set down our pencil. Now, in the path, I have a couple different options now. Let me go through. You can say I can line to or I can move to. Those are the main ones there. Again, there's options like quad to or some other stuff like that. Those are the two main ones we're going to use. So let's do a line to. All right, so let's see how this works. Let's go 300 to 350. So we're going to move across, and then we're going to keep it 200 there. So essentially we're drawing a line here. We're doing nothing different than draw a line. But at this point I can do g.draw, and the shape is the general path. All right, and so I'm drawing my oval. I'm going to call this method to paint the house. And just to make sure it's all working, I'm just drawing one line. And theoretically this line should be to the right at the same level as what the circle was. All right, so let's see what happens. Yeah, there you go. There's my line over to the right. That's working out nicely there for me. All right, so let's keep building up the circle. So I moved a line across there. So let's imagine that's the base of the house. So essentially, we're building it. So what we're going to build is, I'll do it here in text a little bit. Is we're going to have a house. Oops. Kind of like what you'd see here, you're doing it in text, and then I would have, line there, and then lines across the bottom. So that's essentially what we're going to build, here in a second in that shape. So I moved a line across the bottom. So now I can do path.line to, and we'll say stay at 350 because that's where we were, and then we'll go up. And so we'll say our house, if it's 50 wide, we won't be quite that. We'll go up 25. So we'll go 225. Oh, that's down. That's down. I gotta go 175 to go up. All right. So there you go. That's a good start right there. And so now when I draw this path, I should have a line across and a line up. So let me hit the run. Line across, line up. Perfect. Yeah, that's working out well. keep going here. So path dot line 2. So the width. So let's say we want to go halfway in between. So let's go 325, and we're going to peak up to there. And let's say we're going to go up another 50 inside of there. So we'll go to 150, and we'll test it again. Yeah. So boom, boom, up, and then now we're going to come back over. And so we'll do line 2, and now we're coming all the way back to 300 where we started, and coming back down to 175. So that's going to be coming back around. Yep, there you go, come back around, and then now we can just go the last one down, and so you can do path dot line 2, 300, 200, which is where we started. All right. And then we've drawn that, and there you go. We've made our house shape. Now, that's the general path. There's options inside of there. I could do, instead of draw, I could do fill right here. I could say fill general path. And when I do that, it fills in the purple circle for me. Now, it's got to all be one color. If I wanted to be multiple colors, I'd have to do multiple pieces. But again, this is just a shape. It's a house, and I mean, if I could put doors and windows. I can do a bunch of stuff on here if I want to get crazy. But that's the start of it. The thing I want to point out to you here is my intent was to build a house at the same level, and since the circle started up here, it's just confusing. Like the Java uses top left, I started bottom right. Man, that's now I'm confused. So if I want to move my house down, I've just set all my geometry for this, and now I have to do all the numbers all over again. Yeah, I do, but remember, this is software. This is code. I can use this amazing thing called variables to tweak this. So let's say this. Let's say we have a graphics object. I want to draw a house at an X, Y location, like I do a lot of the other things. So I draw an oval, I give it an XY location. I'm going to say it's a fixed width, a fixed height, that we're not going to get crazy inside of this. So our path can start at that fixed XY location, right? X and Y. And then from there, if this started off at 300, 200, which we saw here, what I can do is I can take the 300 off and say X plus 50 and Y. And here, this is the same, X plus 50. And this is Y minus 25. Oops, minus 25. And here was only X plus 25. And this is Y minus 50. And this was X, and this 300, this is X, and this goes back to be X minus 25, and this goes back to be Y. And so now, when I paint my house G, I originally had it at 300, 200. Oops, I still have my up and running. Let me close this. If I run it again, oh, now I've screwed up something inside of there. But notice, in my screwing it up, notice how fill works. It draws a line, and it fills everything that's bounded by that line. So you see when I went the wrong direction here, and I'll fix my math in a second, just see how it works. So if you draw lines and do a fill, it's going to fill it that way. So I'm actually kind of glad I did that. So I did X minus 25 here. I should have done Y minus 25. That was my mistake right here. I just noticed it because I saw it right away because I was looking at my XY coordinates. One great way to be able to help me do this is I can actually move all of these over so that way they line up and make my life easier visually. So you can always use white space in your favor. So you can see I go from XY to X moving over to the right, Y, to staying where it was, moving X up, Y up, moving Y up and X back, moving X back to the beginning, Y down a little bit, and then back to the beginning. So that's the shape inside of there. So I go and run this now. Oh, there you go. There's my shape. But as I said, I want to move it down a little bit. So let's not do 300. Let's do 300, 300 and see what that does. Oh, now it's a little bit too low. Let's do 300, 250. That's better. That's better. Now I can move this around. Guess what? Now if I want two of them, let's say I want a purple house and a G.set color. Let's change it to color.yellow. Do a yellow house. I could do this dot paint house. G, and let's bring it over to the house is how wide? 100. Let's go to 410, 250, and we'll paint a yellow house next to the other. Oh, that's way too far over. I don't want 410. How? But my house. Oh, it's only 50 wide. Let's go to 360. Let's try that. Oh yeah, close together. So now I'm painting houses next to each other. So this is not only a little bit of a demo on GeneralPath, and you need to have at least one GeneralPath inside of there. This is a tip on how to make that GeneralPath a component and be able to move that thing wherever you want to on the screen, or be able to draw many of those on the screen, basically to help you be able to figure out this path. So you can start the way I did. Put an XY location. I would actually start with 0. Not necessarily 0, but maybe 10, because you can't do it 0 exactly. Move it around and then build it there. Now I built it a little bit backwards because I'm building it up with the minus here. I could have transliterated that and say this could start at y plus 50. This starts at y plus 50. This is y plus 25. This is y. This is y plus 25. This is y plus 50. If I want it to be all below the line, but I did the minus. You just have to be consistent in your code. All right, so take a moment and figure out some component in your big master picture that you want to draw, like my little house here, and then next time we're going to kind of plug it into a big picture and kind of show what the whole picture would look like.